Hi, I'm Julia, and I'm going to be presenting you my work, my path to designing LALITA, the friendly vocabulary app. My first user experience design project was given to me by Foundry, and I thought this is great, creating a vocabulary app. I'm perfect for this because I've been working as a German teacher for a while. I've learned quite a few languages myself, and I love to pass on strategies to empower other people to learn languages. So this presentation is going to be about my learning process within the Intro to UX Design course and my trials and failure, and how I drew new strategies from that for my future projects. The persona I created, Felicity, is 44 and she lives in Latin America as a German, as a PhD in quantum physics, and she earns a living by teaching German. Her goals and motivations are to improve her spoken Spanish in order to survive mundane interactions, be it running errands or making new friends. She would be happy to enrich her vocabulary on the go, for example on the bus while going to work. So the app should be solving the following problems: urgent need of target language, lack of spare time, needs to focus on spoken Spanish, and understanding locals speaking to her. The problem statement. Her primary goal is to improve conversational Spanish. Therefore, the focus should lie on hearing and speaking. Felicity needs to hear a word in different contexts to deepen her understanding and activate her long-term memory. We will know this to be true once she's confidently conversing with locals. What are the challenges that Felicity faces with other common apps that she's using? Apps that come over too seriously, for example, with few colors, very bad text-based flashcards, trigger her resentment against learning. Reading does not train her auditive understanding, and instead of training how to spell a word correctly, she would prefer to be corrected in her intonation and pronunciation. Her quote, "I want to learn Spanish in a wholesome process as part of my quality time." My first idea was, I'll create a quiet action game. It's called Lingopolis. This is the splash screen on the left, icon on the right, and it's like a really gamified app. The setting will be a common middle-sized city, and there would be like a point of view perspective, so you would feel like walking through this city as a virtual character with your avatar, and hear and speak the target language. You'd like walk in, let's say, Latin America and converse with locals there, with the waitress, neighbors, friends, and would have to speak Spanish and hear Spanish from all of them. So the goals within the game will be successfully running daily errands like picking up kids from Scouts camp or calling the plumber, and the others would be really friendly characters who would help the user to learn new words and phrases in order to get the task done. So this was the first user flow I drew. The intention was imitating a natural language learning process. Starting the game, you would be walking through a street, enter a shop, greet an assistant of the shop, point at the desired item. The assistant points at the correct item, asks you whether you want this one, and you'd say yes, confirm desired item, buy it. And yeah, my first feedback was this just looks like user flow for someone buying something in a shop, not for any digital product. So I thought, I need to add a lot. I need to add that greeting the system means to train new words with using the microphone. Pointing at the desired item means that you're choosing new words to learn. And when the assistant points at the correct item and asks for confirmation, they'll make you hear this new word. And confirming means you have to pronounce it correctly unless, otherwise you wouldn't be able to buy it. But yeah, the happy path meant to show this, but actually showed normal shop situation. And anyway, I thought I was supposed to design a flashcard app and not so much an action game. And I thought this is all too complex. And after all, also, I had already thought about some mascot helping the user in the learning process. And this did not match with the idea of a point of view action game. Actually, it matches as much as Garfield matches with Blade Runner. Well, I guess that was it. But there was a mascot. What if I just remove the digital city in the point of view game? And this is how LALITA was born. So here they come. Early prototypes in a flashcard style. This is like a flashcard for learning a new word with a definition, a loudspeaker to hear it, and a microphone to speak. I also had an icon already, and the mascot would also give positive affirmation. Usability test. What did I decide to test and why? I regarded the general user flow as most important. Would the participants find their way to learning a new word? My prototype was focusing on sound and speech recognition. Therefore, I focused on testing the usability of the audio features and whether the icons would be understood. Well, the outcome was my hand-drawn microphone got mistaken for a cactus, the Pac-Man for someone who speaks to me, and some of my mascot's prompts were completely misleading. A home button and a go back button were still missing, and confirming that a word is new to the user would not instantly lead to learning the new word, but in the old path it would actually, like here, lavatrice, lead to two other words, before collecting 3 new words and then actually learning them. So I even didn't understand anymore why I had created it like this, except for the idea of being very exceptional. So learning a new word should follow right after choosing it, and an option to add a new word manually, and this was a user's idea, by scanning. I love this. So in the new path you can see there was an option to actually scan a word from a book, and then right away after scanning, typing or whatever, the new word would appear, a definition, translation, a new word in a context, a film extract containing it, and once you got that, you would need to speak it, and the mascot would explain how to use the microphone so that no one would think that this is a cactus or anything else anymore. Other improvements: choosing the words to learn. Here we have the wonderful Italian word a posto. First I only showed random words to choose from. Version 2, then I replaced it by a scanner. The app would recognize the scanned word, show its definition, and save it to favorites. And now I created, in the end, a way to combine both options and add a third one: typing and searching a new word. Searching in a glossary. Now the user can choose how to acquire new vocabulary, and they can still do it the old way, jump into the water and let the app show random words. Well, of course, according to the level of the user, to learn from. Also, the toolbar needed improvement. I put the icon for settings in the upper right corner of the display, as it is less important than a home and go back button. The profile will be found in the menu on the upper left corner, so the outside 2 icons left the lower toolbar. A general search function would include finding certain settings and other features on the left of the new bar. A puzzle piece instead of the Pac-Man might be more metaphorically suitable for the kind of games this app features, since they're less action and more intellectual in the end. And the book item worked well, so I just found a digital counterpart and of course added a home button. And the go back button. Well, next steps. What would I do to improve my prototype further? I'd design games that focus on hearing and speaking again, assessment tests to define the language level, and designing settings and the profile wireframes and user path. Within the existing flow, I'd improve the following things: creating options, review word tomorrow, review this word next week, supplement swiping with the click button, and it would say learn instead of no, this word is new. I'd put a heading, sign up with social media or email, and eventually move on to a more detailed prototype with colors and refined icons. So, to sum up the things I've learned during this first course in UX design. The first task was competitive analysis of 3 vocabulary apps. I found you cannot criticize enough. Don't copy bad stuff. Try and combine good features to something new. Find out what's really missing in the apps you're comparing. User research, these were the interviews. Amazing how much information one can acquire in 10 minutes. People know quite well what they need. And creating the persona. It helped me to brief the insights one through the interviews. And it seems to make most sense to me as a means of convincing others why we need certain features. Information architecture, creating success criteria, user task and goals first, and then map the path. Wireframing and prototyping, this seems to be the core part of UX design to me. And I try to get here as soon as possible. Usability testing is absolutely crucial because, some things, after I heard them from the users, they seemed super clear, but I had to hear them from the outside perspective. And it really propelled the process and led me to my best ideas, like the scanning feature, for example. Thank you very much for listening. And I'll see you next time when I'm back in my future path as a UX designer.